Do you know how to handle a bad boss? Well, we're going to talk about that coming up right now. Welcome everyone, Michael Finley here with another episode of Leadership Roll Call, where we give you tips, suggestions, and recommendations on how you can become a more effective leader. Our topic today is how to deal with a bad boss. Now, before we begin, I'd like to ask, do you have a bad boss? If so, what makes them bad? Please put your comments below. Throughout our careers, we have many bosses. Hopefully, most of them are good. But every now and then we run into that bad boss. That boss that makes the toxic work environment, that has negativity around them, that maybe has some paranoia or causes stress in the work environment. Unfortunately, there's a few bad bosses out there. In this episode, we're going to talk about ways to deal with a bad boss. Now, hopefully, your boss is not like Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada. But if you do have a bad boss, here's some things we can do. First, you want to look through the situation from their perspective. Now, I know that sounds bad because your boss is bad, but try to look at it from their eyes. What's going on? Are they critical of your reports? Well, maybe your reports aren't giving your boss the information that they need for their boss. Is your boss trying to motivate you and maybe just doing a poor job of it? So try to understand what causes the actions from this boss. Try to look at it from their eyes. It might help you understand just a little bit better what's going on. Next, and you want to be careful with this one, you want to confront the issue. Sit down and have a talk with your boss, professionally and courteously, about what's going on. Outline your perspective of how you see things. Maybe they have no idea they're acting like that. So have that conversation with your boss and try to explain from your perspective what's going on. And third, this may seem counterintuitive, but see if there's something that you can do to help them be more successful. Yeah, that's right. That's what we talked about. So if you help them be more successful, maybe your boss won't be so critical of you. Maybe they'll see you not as the enemy, but for an asset that can help them succeed. So see if there's something you can do to help them be more successful. Fourth, you want to document what's going on. Now, this is twofold. The first way is, one time I had a boss that seemed to forget what they said from meeting to meeting. They would change their mind. So what I started to do after every meeting was send a follow-up email. And in this email, I would post the things that we talked about and the action items that I needed to do based on our meeting. And then I would keep a copy of this with me in subsequent meetings. And if the boss ever came up and said, well, I didn't say that, I would pull out the email and tactfully let them know that I must have misunderstood, but based on my information or my interpretation, here's what I needed to do. And after I did that a couple of times, my boss suddenly started remembering what they said. So that's one way to document. The other way to document is if your boss is doing something cruel or mean, and it could be serious, you want to document those things in case this escalates. Next, if it gets too bad, before you do anything, you want to review your options. If you want to stay with a company, maybe there's another department or another role that you can take on that will get you out from under that boss. If that doesn't work, maybe it's time to think about moving on to another company. Now, again, review your options before you decide to do this. You don't want to be stuck and not have a job. So review your options to see which is the best way. And you want to plan what you plan on doing. You don't want to immediately go over your boss's head unless you understand what the consequences are. If you maybe an option could be to go to human resources and let them know what's going on. So before you take drastic action, review your options. You know, unfortunately, there's a few bad bosses out there, and if you have one, you have my sympathy. I've been in your shoes. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. If you follow these simple steps, maybe you can get out from having a bad boss. I hope this topic was beneficial to you. If you have a comment about this topic or any topic you would like to see in the future, please put it in the comment section below. And if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing to our channel. Until next time, good luck with dealing with a bad boss.